The Standard Business Roadmap Step-by-Step Guide. Okay, so what do we mean by the Standard Business Roadmap? Well, the acid test for any system is, does it work? This system is no different. Results are today's business currency. Without results, no system is worth the paper it's written on. This system isn't based on theory or strategic waffle. It's based on hard-won experience and developed by people who've used the tools contained within it to get measurable results time after time. Follow the process step by step in the order that it's laid out and you will get results. This system can be used for areas from an individual department or small business right up to major corporations. Theories and complex models may look impressive in boardroom presentations, but only action gets results. So, step-by-step directions to your business destination. So the Standard Business Roadmap is a highly structured 5-phase approach for major business improvements. Standard inputs produce standard outputs. So once again, we're back to the importance of standardization as the first step to getting any kind of improvement in place. So the first thing you need to know when you go into a business area, and this applies whether you're looking at your yellow belt certification, green belt, black belt, it doesn't matter, whatever it is. The first thing we need to look at is a diagnostic. So you want to get a clear picture of where you, or more importantly, the business currently are. Once you've got that, then it's very important to get some stability in place. So get the business or the area or the department in control. Consolidate and put in a solid foundation from which to build. Following on from this, you're going to need a strategy. Get a clear vision of the direction you want to go and put the plans in place to get there. Once you've got those, you can then get the action phase going. Don't worry too much about getting it right, just get it going. You won't be too far off the mark because you've already got some stability in place, done your diagnostic and put a strategy in place for the direction you want to move in. Following on from this, the evaluation phase. To evaluate the success so far and then create the next future state, the next iteration of where you want to get to. So it's a 5-stage approach, and each of the following business areas will have a specific role to play in the implementation of the standard toolkit for each stage of the cycle. So the HR department, business leadership will be a critical one, the operations management, the logistics area, the quality area. During the diagnostic phase, things that you will be looking at will be things like a cultural audit, some stakeholder analysis, an assessment of the business, current state value stream map. You may need a business case depending upon the company that you're actually working in. It will be very, very useful to get some voice of the customer data. Do a detailed scoping of the area in question and a tactical plan for the stability phase once you've carried out the diagnostic. So once you know what position the business is currently in, you will then know what things need to go in place first in order to stabilize the business. So what we tend to find is the first thing in the stability phase that needs to go in place is discipline. So find out if there's an actual disciplinary procedure. Is there a policy in place? Is it adhered to? And if it isn't, make sure it is. People need to understand that there are rules that need to be followed. Get the people in line following the rules. Then look at terms of payment, your suppliers and customers. Are they adhering to these? Are you getting paid on time? Then you'll need to install some measures. So first of all, look at, or you will already have looked at in the diagnostic phase, what measures are in place, what KPIs, are they relevant? Do you need to implement different KPIs or different metrics to drive the right behaviours. Following on from those performance management system, you're going to need some visual management in place. Is the organisational model sensible? So have a look at that. Are your spans of control right? If it's a manufacturing area, do they have tack time working? Are they working to a drumbeat or delivery schedule adherence? The next thing, do they have standardised work in place? Do they have work sequencing? How long is it? When is it? Is there any Gemba management going on? Are the managers actually walking the walk? So these are all the things that need to go in place in order to get the stability that then allows you to put some improvement on top of that. Okay, once you've got that area stabilised, the next stage is develop a strategy. So get a business vision, develop a future state value stream map, put the route map and the tactical plans in place to achieve that vision and that future state. Define the operating principles of the business. And if you're going to be working with unions, you may want to start looking at a gateway type process where there's some collaboration with the unions. Fourth stage, action phase. So you're going to be looking at cultural change, and this will lead on from some of the Gemba management we spoke about earlier. If a gateway process is to be used, this is where that goes into place. What's the leadership model like? Are the leaders actually walking the walk? And this could be some coaching around that. Make sure they understand that an organisation is a shadow of its leader. Some of the key HR policies, are they in place? Disciplinary, absence, timekeeping, that kind of thing. Have a look at the stock turns, inventory control. Then we start looking at continuous improvement, total productive maintenance, single minute exchange of dies, 5C, 5S, line balancing. These are the kind of little more complex tools that will allow us to make a step change in improvement moving forward. And the fifth phase, the evaluation phase. So evaluate the success that you've had so far. Next phase, you move back into the diagnostic phase. So you'll look at a new current state map. So what does the organisation look like now? Does it need any more stability going in place? Do you need a new strategy, or can you move directly into the next action phase and put the plans in place for getting there? So some of the timescales that you could be expecting here, this is a question I get asked quite a lot. People understand the model, understand what we're trying to tell them, but they say, well, how long will it take? Well, typically, here are some areas, here are some sort of indicative timescales to give you an idea. So it's a small business, less than 500 staff. The diagnostic should take 1 to 2 weeks. That does depend on the complexity of the environment. So that could expand out to 4, 5, 6 weeks if it's quite complex or there are a lot of different types of activities going on. Stability phase, again, less than 500 staff. If they're all doing similar types of work, you could be looking 8 weeks. If, again, the same caveat as on the diagnostic phase, if there are a lot of different types of work within that environment, you can move up to double that amount. So it does depend upon complexity of work and different work types, because your diagnostic will take into account the different work types, but then the stability activities that you carry out may be different for the different types of work that you encounter. Again, strategy, around 8 weeks to come up with that strategic vision and the plans to put in place to carry that out. The action phase then could be up to 12 months once you've got all those other things in place. Evaluation, would recommend you do that in a 6-monthly cycle following the first one. So carry out the improvements and then evaluate in an ongoing manner continuously. So the process appears above as a linear process. This is for ease of understanding only. The process in reality is a cyclical one, as shown on the left. Once the evaluation has been carried out, the whole process is repeated with the next level of improvements, an ever-increasing spiral of continuous improvement. So an audit step should also be put in after the stability and action phases to ensure the improvements stick. As you progress through to the second cycle, providing the actions you have implemented earlier have become firmly embedded, more advanced Lean, Six Sigma tools or other improvement tools can be used. This will depend upon the environment in which you're operating. Each of the 5 steps to Lean can be tailored to be implemented in progressive cycles. An example of this is shown on the following slide. So, the first cycle of the Standard Business Roadmap going through, you may just look at the first part of the 5 steps to Lean, so the stability phase, in terms of takt time standard work, TPM, SMED, KPIs, performance management system, visual management, 5S, error proofing, issue resolution, variability reduction, work sequencing, and detailed process mapping. So you'll probably recognise some of those from the different phases in the Standard Business Roadmap. They've just been broken down quite a lot more for ease of understanding, and so you don't get tempted to just blindly throw lots of tools at the process in the hope that it's going to improve. It needs to be done in a very controlled manner so that you get the benefits that you're looking for. And that's it for the Standard Business Roadmap. Thank you very much.